Alright guys, TacticalRab here, and I hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. The CDL is back again this evening. We had an age-old topic in the esports and sports landscape rears its head last night, with Scrappy and ZooMaa getting into it over which player is better and which player had it easier in their respective eras. ZooMaa reckons that Scrappy's playing in a watered-down version of what he played back in his day. Scrappy reckons ZooMaa and the others were playing against plumbers. Very well, just into your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. Firstly, can you believe it? Octane's hyped about this because he actually likes the game. Extra fire, baby. It may officially be here. They say there's a pre-season on May the 21st. I don't know if it's actually going to arrive as intended because they promised dates before and it's never actually happened. But they reckon May the 21st on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series or whatever, and then like Ubisoft Connect PC, it's going to be arriving. So yeah, maybe finally or whatever you want to say on that one. Now, challenges. Quick victory last night for Vortex and the boys. Vortex, Weeman, Hixie and Methodz. Methodz was the MVP of this, by the way, by far. He's had like a 1.3 this stage. Kind of ridiculous, and Weeman's been a name that I honestly think is easily good enough to be in the league right now, but you know, he's not because he's British and, you know, he's been around for several years. Obviously, it's difficult to get in from Europe, generally speaking, but to be fair, Methodz was by far the MVP of this grand finals at a 1.5 to take down Afro, Bance, Harry and F. Those guys on Team War. Hixie had a 0.69 for the dub, so you got to respect it. This is just what this guy does. But also, this is the issue, right? Hixie won the tournaments. They dominated the finals 4-1. It was pretty comfortable, and we know what Hixie brings to teams, but he did have a 0.7, right? Which is why people are going to say, well, sure, he won, but maybe we'd prefer to get somebody else. And this is the reason why Hixie getting back into the league might be more of a challenge than possibly it should have been after last year's success with the Toronto Ultra. Now, in North America, the Spartans got the win. That, of course, is Spark's team. So cool to see Spark back on top, really, because he was in a tricky spot for a while. But Spark Glowfrosty, I think it's been a long time since Glowfrosty's won an event like this. Wiz and then Fire. Great to see Fire back on top as well. So yeah, sure, it's the elite stage and the challenger side. What we're really going to see is what happens when we go to the major in Toronto and what happens alongside that, because that's going to be the key storyline. Whoever wins that tournament is going to put themselves in with a good shout of getting through to the Pro League, because I imagine after Major 3, there will be teams that look to make changes if they are not in a good position to make the World Championship or are not confident they can, or even teams potentially further up the grid. So pretty cool to see these guys back. $75,000 champs with those guys. So, you know, there is big money being thrown around there in challenges. And, you know, there is obviously coverage of it, as we're doing in the videos, and obviously ZooMaa and Scrappy and those guys watch partying it all over the last couple of days. So it's good to see that it's gaining more attention, I would say, because, you know, the CDL's putting some money in. Sure, do they do the best job promoting it themselves? No, but I think we're getting there as a community, slowly but surely. Now, after this, a roster change happened. We saw Donny Temp's team, as we talked about the drama last night, bowed out of that tournament, and Temp was, well, was he a free agent? Were they making a roster change? Turns out he was gone, and he has joined the Omit Brooklyn team. Now, this was a team that formerly had Arcitys in until, like, yesterday or the day before, whatever it was. So, you know, as they say, some old faces, some new. We've got Lunas, we've got Dak, we've got ErikBooM, and then we've got Donny Temp. So I'm not sure what the situation is with Arcitys, but it seems like he's effectively gone, you know, dropped or whatever, right? And pretty tough for Arcitys. Two-time world champion, goes down to challenges, has not had the easiest time down there. Don't know what the next steps will be for him, but that's probably a story for the coming days. Now, yesterday was, of course, meant to be the Dashy 20 women versus 1 Dashy thing, right? But I think they nearly got enough girls to do it. Then they had some people pull out, and then Ziddy was trying to find some people last minute. And yeah, so Ziddy has to come up with a video saying, oh, I got postponed until next week. Ultimately, this falls on me. I apologize, but it's going to be worth it, right? And Ziddy was like, damn, I just don't have the aura, do I? To like pull these girls into this conversation. And this is pretty funny, right? So Flame Swords, obviously ReeaL OG, comes in and says, this online only, or do you want 20 ladies from Dallas to do this in person? And he's like, damn, my boy Mike has motion. We can definitely make it happen. So in person would probably be even better. And as Clay then says, Zin's got no motion, right? So yeah, I gotta say, it's pretty funny that Zin's getting toasted for this, man. Methodz can't catch a break, can he? This poor guy. So yeah, Methodz, damn, I need some aura. It's okay, bro. Some people got the sauce, some people don't got not the source. It is just the way that it is. Now, actually, we're going to see this in a second because I did want to mention, yeah, the following. This is pretty funny from Ziddy. He comes out with the nail polish, obviously, that Clay's got on the fingers, and is like, damn, this guy's finally getting it right. So get with the program type thing. But let's talk about young Scrap. Well, this is young Scrap right about here. And Scrap, ZooMaa attached those guys, watch partying the challenges over the last couple of days, and seeing some legendary clips. I mean, this is a great one here when Scrappy stands up at about this point. This guy, I think, is maybe 10 or 11 at this point. He was also talking about his teammate on the right here, who played on the far right-hand side, who he also thought was very good, but like, you know, he didn't continue. This is Advanced Warfare, of course. They're playing, what, Detroit Hardpoint, it looks like. And Scrappy stands up at some point and says, as you're going home. Like, look at him go, man. It's unbelievable scenes. But the big drama I wanted to dive into was around Scrappy and ZooMaa getting into it over who's better, right? Is Prime Scrap the better player? Prime ZooMaa the better player? Obviously, each player is going to have their own opinion on it. And they play in very different eras, right? ZooMaa's now retired for several years. His peak performance was probably Advanced Warfare, right? 2015 season. A very different game we played at the time, and a very different league that we had at the time. Scrappy's playing today in a very different set of circumstances, with, you know, very different competition, very different structure. So how do you compare those two eras? You can compare the players to some degree, but I think comparing the level of play is always a bit of a challenge, because first of all, they're rather different players. Scrappy has a different role, different play style to what ZooMaa had, so, you know, those aren't two players that I would firstly think about. And ZooMaa for now is obviously far higher on the all-time list of players than Scrappy is. You know, Scrappy's only won one event, ZooMaa won several more than that. Sure, both of them haven't won a world championship yet. Okay, ZooMaa's basically the boat has sailed on that one, but Scrappy, of course, it is possible, and I would be surprised, certainly, if Scrappy doesn't win a world championship in his career. So there are comparisons to be drawn, but the big talking point really again came down to the different eras and how that conversation is negotiated. They did talk briefly about, you know, LeBron versus Jordan, these type discussions, which are difficult to have. So I wanted to share what Scrap and ZooMaa had to say on it, why ZooMaa reckons that he's right, why Scrappy reckons that he's right, but also what Big Time has said, because every time this topic comes up, I remember this clip that Big T came out with back in 2022 when there was a discussion of which players had no recognition for the talent that they had. And Big T was basically saying the entire crop of players that retired before Black Ops 2 never got the respect they deserved. You're always pushing a ceiling.
Prime ZooMaa or Prime Scrap?
That is such a fit. And people don't say Prime ZooMaa over Prime, they just didn't watch. They just didn't watch, but they just didn't watch.
Bro, you cannot do what I do with both guns. And the sniper. Bro, what do you mean? The best players in the world are playing now. The best players in the world play now.
Making it look easy.
I don't give a what anyone's chat has to say.
We were playing against the Dynasty, bro. Like, I don't know if you could beat the Dynasty.
Bro, okay, yeah, you're right.
You're playing. Look what you're playing. You're playing. Shit, I can play this game with my
Okay, you played the Dynasty, right? You played the Dynasty. You played the Dynasty, then you played literal 13-year-olds at 10 in the morning. So I don't want to hear it. You literally played 13-year-olds your first 4 rounds of the tournament, okay? You played about 2 good teams. Oh, probably about 3 teams that were actually good.
Brother, what the f do you think you're playing? It's a 3 good teams. It's 4 good teams. Hey,
bro, I promise. Bro.
It's like 2 good teams.
Okay, so the bottom teams, I promise you, are better than the blush teams that played in your era.
Brother, are you
They'll smoke every team in your era.
Brother, the league now is watered down to 48 people. Back in the day, everybody was in that bitch.
Yeah, and they were all dog shit.
Whose problem was that? Everybody. Scrap, you're gonna sit here and tell me you're not playing people who are shit.
I never said that. I never said that.
What are we talking about?
But the people in the league now are better than the people back then.
The more punishing it's gonna be. Like
brother, you're playing dog shit.
Bro, you literally played plumber. Like when I mean like plumbers as a joke, like no, I'm dead serious. They literally go into their 9 to 5 job before the fucking match started.
We can write a book on all the players that came out of that era, all the legends. Now we have,
what is your point?
My point is now we don't even have that many people in the league, as many as back in the day that you can call like
okay, you just started listing off OpTic Gaming. Of course they're gonna be legends and massive, bro. Anyone that walks through fucking OpTic is a legend compared to these people.
I listed a million fucking plays.
You listed like 4.
Clayster,
OpTic.
Give me more names. Give me more
names. Let's go. All right, Neslo and Gunjar. Respectfully, they were fucking ass.
Okay, so what's your... What's your overall point that you're trying to make? What's your overall point?
Well,
Gunjar
this
was
was
actually
this
goat.
was
Gunjar
stemming
was
from
goat
like
back in the day.
who's better. It's definitely me over you.
And if I get to see one more list, a greatest Call of Duty players of all time list, made from anyone who doesn't understand what all time means, I'm gonna blow a fucking gasket. Because it is not easier to play in any era, in anything. You are always competing at a ceiling. And even though, objectively speaking, the ceiling gets higher, it doesn't mean it's any easier to play at the lower ceiling. It's always pushing against the ceiling. So I'm trying to make an apples to apples comparison. I like baseball. No one in their right mind ranks Bryce Harper or Shohei Ohtani over Babe fucking Ruth in a greatest baseball players of all time list. Even though, objectively speaking, they're probably playing the game at a higher level because the game has evolved, but they stacked on top of the people that came before them. Motherfucker, my electrician knows more about electricity than Thomas Edison. But I do not think he's smarter than Thomas fucking Edison.
So I will never pass up an opportunity to share that clip there for Big Timer. And I do think he's on the money, right? I don't think that, you know, I could really explain it better than how Big T is explained, at least from that perspective, right? And you might not agree with Big Timer's arguments, but certainly from those of his generation, it was very nicely put, I think. So Scrappy says, look, presumably you were playing plumbers, and you were playing Gunjar and Neslo, right? So poor Gunjar, right? Because this is 4 minutes into this clip here. I didn't share the entire thing with you guys, but it was a 4-minute clip. And Gunjar watched it right to the end, and then saw him get absolutely toasted. Why am I catching strays? I was a straight shooter back in the day. And to be honest, I think it tends to be like this in like all sports. You'll get certain players that come through with a lot of... I don't think Scrappy doesn't have respect for those that came before him in the previous generation, but you get some players that are they watch a lot of historical matches to understand what it was like back then and the way things were played and have a real good grasp of the history. Some players are like, these guys were trash back in the day, I'm way better than them, the competition is high nowadays. So there is that argument as well. To me, it's still going to take an awful lot for Scrappy or even for Simp and aBeZy are very comfortably in the top 10 players of all time discussion now, and Cellium is arguably there as well. They will move higher, I imagine, over the next couple of years, the way things are going, but it's still, kind of difficult to knock Crimsix or Scump or Karma or Clayster off their perches, given what they achieved over so many years in a very different time frame. But it is a different league nowadays. Whether it's better or worse, whether the competition is harder or easier, that is a question, because back in the day, the talent was maybe not as kind of consolidated as it is at the top of the league today, and sure, maybe the team that's 12th today can put up more of a fight against first than the team that was 12th against first several years ago. And also way back when the salaries weren't really a thing, it was all about trying to win the event, right? That's how you'd get your money and actually maintain a living. So there's an argument both ways. The players couldn't really play as much full time as they do today. They weren't salaried professionals that are putting in all the hours and the hard graft as an actual job, but at the same time there is an argument that today some players are just here for the ride. They're basically just winging it because they're getting salaries. They don't really care about winning or losing. Back in the day, that was absolutely everything. You can't afford to be top 6 because you're not going to be able to pay your rent. So maybe there is an argument to say that it's not even necessarily easier today than it was back then. But like one player from this era is going to say one thing, a player from another era is going to say something rather different. Let's talk about the matches for this evening. This is Flames' card so far over his first 2 games. If he can maintain this, I will be very impressed indeed. This is the situation. They play once this weekend, Gorillas against OpTic tomorrow. OpTic, though, also play today. I will say there's no top 4 matches this weekend. Not to say the matches can't be interesting, because they can, but there are no top 4 battles. I mean, FaZe had their top 4 battles over the last couple of weeks, but they weren't especially competitive. So New York play Miami Heretics. That's, what we'll see, right? If New York lose to Miami, it might just be chalked. But I think Miami can put up a fight online. You never really know what version of that team you're going to get. But, realistically, we've got to take the favourites here. OpTic versus Boston will be interesting because Boston's hardpoint has actually been really good since their change. OpTic should be another level, and I'm still never going to trust Boston to win a series until they can show me something in Search and Destroy. And then FaZe Vegas, which could be an absolute speedrun. I mean, like, Vegas weren't looking great lately. FaZe have been 3-0ing everyone. If FaZe come in here, take this hella serious, and intends to absolutely body Vegas, this could get ugly and fast. But very much interested your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care, and I'll see you next time.